The Raspy Voice Kids are back. I'm Brandon Phoenix, a.k.a. I Also Hate Pitt, and I am joined by my brother.
Jay Fiend, Jeremy. I'm in the booth as well.
We got a lot to talk about. A lot has happened in college sports, including West Virginia getting their bowl game. We now know we're playing in the Heart of Dallas Bowl. That, of course, is in Dallas at the old Cotton Bowl. And we will be taking on the Utah Utes. So that leads us to what we always do before a game, discussing why we hate the Utah Utes. Now, my biggest reason for hating the Utah Utes is because they're not Mountaineers. They don't rock the Flying WV. They don't sing Country Roads. They don't understand. But I also hate the Utah Utes because they're called the Utah Utes.
The Utah freaking Utes.
What is this, an audition for My Cousin Vinny? What is this? I don't understand. What is a Ute? Okay? Very lazy. Very lazy. You could do something better than the Utah Utes. You could have come up with something more creative, but you went with the Utah Utes. The lowest common denominator. The easiest thing that you could come up with. And that's embarrassing, really. That's embarrassing. So now when we play you, you don't have any real identity. You're 6-6. You've not been that great in your lifetime, and we have to play you, and we're really not going to get any credit, even though you are a Pac-12 team. You got to do better.
You got to do better. You're in the Pac-12, but what was your Pac-12 record?
But
3-6.
3-6.
Look, you can't win in your own conference. Get out of here, okay?
And you only beat Arizona because they didn't start Khalil Tate. And that, of course, is Rich. That, of course, is Mr. Rich Rodriguez's MO. He saves his best player until he figures out they're good enough, usually not on his own. But you got the advantage of that this year.
My problem with Utah is the king of mediocrity. Even in their best years, even when they're not the stepchild of the Pac-12, because they're the left out child of the Pac-12. Even when they're not, even when they go undefeated, they went undefeated in 04 and 08. And who remembers that? Who thinks any? 2 years in a row. 2 different years within a 10-year stretch, you go undefeated. But nobody talks about Utah.
Nobody talks about Utah
because you're Utah. Plain and simple, you're Utah. So when we beat you, are we going to get so much respect? Are we going to get anything? No, it means nothing because you're king of mediocrity. Think about your biggest player that come out of Utah, or one of your biggest players, Alex Smith. He follows that through and through. King of mediocrity. Now, I don't think Alex Smith is a bad quarterback. I also don't think Alex Smith is a great quarterback.
Nope.
You know why? He's mediocre.
He's mediocre.
And like T.I. said, we don't want no mediocre. We don't want no mediocre. We don't want no mediocre. And that's what you are, Utah. You're mediocre.
And everybody knows it.
Yeah, everybody knows it. But you know what? I remember when I really did start hating Utah, and this is true. This is the truth. For years and years after this event, I hated Utah. I followed this guy's career, and every time I wanted him to lose, it made such an impact. I was 12 years old. It's 1998. Gail Catlett, 24. I think we were 24-9 that year. We go to the tournament. We play Utah. I remember because I didn't know who Utah was. Andre Miller and the guy I will never forget, Michael freaking Doliak. Excuse me. Michael Doliak goes off for 25 points. And this is the game after Jared West hits a buzzer beater against Cincinnati. We come in the next week. We're all hyped up. I'm 12 years old. I'm feeling it. And Utah plays a game of their life. Like I said, Michael Doliak had 25 points, and they ruined it. And you know what? Gail Catlett never recovered after that. The 4 or 5 years he had after that, nothing happened. My problem, the reason why I hate Utah is partly because of that tournament. I was 12 years old watching it, but that's a big reason.
How old were you?
I was 12. It was 98. I said it 3 times. I want to make it. Look, I'm trying to say it had an impact. Sure. I'm just saying it had an impact. I was 16. I was 18. The first time they came on the scene and I recognized who Utah was, they were beating my Mountaineers in that tournament, and I'll never forget it. And I hated Michael Doliak ever since then.
No, those are good reasons. To be honest, there's not a lot to Utah. There's not a lot to them. There's not a lot to the state. Nobody's impressed. Nobody's in love. They're just there, and we have to play them. But we get a payout, we get extra practices, and we get a chance for another bowl victory. So I am excited for that part of it. The interesting thing about Utah, which is what you mentioned, the fact that they're 6-6, they were 3-6 in the Pac-12. They did lose 3 games by a total of 7 points, I believe.
They did.
So they had a shot at being much better, but they couldn't finish the job. It's something that West Virginia needs to watch for, though. They have a sophomore quarterback, which for me, whenever I hear about a young quarterback being the starter, I always think there's a chance for growth between the last game and the bowl game. Just like we're looking forward to practices for our young defense, for some of our young receivers and other players that are on our team, Utah will be looking forward to the same thing. That sophomore quarterback threw 15 touchdowns, but he threw 10 interceptions. 10 interceptions. And for us, we didn't take the ball away that much. Maybe this is an opportunity to take the ball away and get a victory because of turnovers. The other thing about Utah is they changed their offense this year, and they try to do more of a Big 12 type attack, a lot, not air raid necessarily, but throwing the ball a lot more, de-emphasizing the run. Jake Lance did a good job, once again, writing an article, getting us prepped for what the offense and the defense would look like, has looked like. Because of the emphasis on the run, that bodes well for us as Mountaineers. We did not do a good job stopping the run this year. That was our Achilles heel, especially up the gut through our defensive line. So with them de-emphasizing the run, with them not toting the rock as much as typical, as much as they normally would, we, again, have a better shot, in my opinion, at a successful defensive campaign against them when it comes to the Heart of Dallas Bowl.
No, all those are good points, and I'm excited to see that Wildcat again against Oklahoma. It looked good. Now, I think Chugs can throw the rock a little bit, but that package has to stay. That's the bottom line. I mean, and I'm saying that. There's no way that package has to stay. Did you see the success it had last game against Oklahoma?
Oh, yeah.
It has to stay. It worked wonders. Let's do it again against Utah.
Yeah, and I think they already mentioned that they would. I mean, they implemented that Wildcat in just 1 week, and we, like you said, look at the success we had in just 1 week of Kennedy McCoy. It will only get better. Now, it also means that we have it on tape, so Utah will be able to study it, but there will be wrinkles this time, I'm sure of it. Dana had his hands all over the game plan, even though he, of course, was working with Spavital. Spavital's still the offensive coordinator. He's calling the plays. You'll see the wrinkles. You'll see the genius of Dana Holgorsen when we get to the Heart of Dallas Bowl. I believe that sincerely. And I'm excited because when you can run the ball on Utah, then you win the game.
Plane going by. My bad. I got the window open.
No, it's all right.
So if you hear in the background, my fault.
No, we can't hear anything. It's all good.
Okay, good.
If you're able to run the ball on Utah, you're able to win the game. So we've got to be able to run this ball. Utah did a much better job in their first 6 games, as Jake Lance pointed out in his article. If you go find him on the Smoking Musket Night Stare, he's our guy. We don't actually know him, but we're huge fans of what he does. And he did a good job of explaining that. The first 6 games, Utah's defense looked excellent, but they played garbage teams. San Jose State being one of them. BYU, who could not score offensively, being another. When they got into the conference, it was a different story. And so if we're able to run the ball like we did that last game, like we did in games where we had success, then, again, we should be able to see success. But we start out as 5-point underdogs. So Vegas is not on the West Virginia hype train. What's that say to you, Jay?
I don't know to say a lot. You know, there's people who think, oh, yeah, I love when West Virginia's underdogs. And you know what? I used to, too. Now it doesn't matter. We're underdogs. We're favorites. Doesn't matter. It's about playing on the field. So all this other extra hype, -5 when it comes to the spread, or excuse me, +5 when it comes to the spread, doesn't matter. Like, play ball. Like, being underdogs means nothing to me. Being favorites, or as I like to call them, overdogs, means nothing to me. Play ball. Play ball. And the thing is, I didn't used to think, but these bowl games, they mean something for the fact of this is a kickoff for next year. This sets a tone for the early part of next year. We win this game, we go in with positive vibes. We go in with the media positive on us. It's a big step. We lose this game, and we're fighting an uphill battle already starting 2018.
Yeah, I don't know that I believe that. I don't know that has a carryover, especially when Will Greer's not playing. Like, I don't think it really has a carryover, to be honest with you. I think we all know that this is a completely different game. The complexion of the game would be different. I don't think we would be dogs if Will Greer was healthy and playing. So if Will Greer comes back, I don't feel like it means we're fighting an uphill battle. I think it means something for Dana Holgorsen as far as his legacy. I think it means something for West Virginia as far as recruiting and bragging rights and pride and tradition. But I don't think it has any impact on the 2018 season. If anything,
I don't know at all. I don't know. To me, it always feels like after the bowl game, the very next year, it's kind of like a barometer. They build off of that. Yeah, barometer, but they also build off that. You have Penn State and granted, I know we're talking about big boy teams in a big boy bowl game, but you have USC who beat Penn State. They both look really good, and the next year they start off in the top 5. I'm not saying exactly apples to apples, but I feel like what we do in the bowl game, if we win, we will start with a better starting point for next year. even in the minds of voters and everything else, than if we lose this game. Granted, now what you said about Will Greer is absolutely true, and that's one thing I didn't think about. But I just feel like it's so much positive. We win this game. It's just, like I said, it's more on the up and up for us starting 2018. This is the first game. This is a setup game for 2018, I feel.
Yeah, no, you're right. It's a springboard. I wasn't thinking of it as far as rankings are concerned, as far as national consciousness is concerned. But you're right. It is a springboard for the next season. So it's something we're looking forward to getting into it. The tickets are great. They have a package right now, $80. You get 4 hot dogs, 4 tickets, 4 drinks, I think, for $80. That's hard to...
Is the plane ticket included in
that? No,
that?
see, that's the thing. The plane ticket is not included.
It's a great
deal.
Deal.
That's not bad. We found a hotel room for $49 a night.
Is the $49 included in the plane ticket?
But I found tickets as low from flying out of Columbus, Ohio. I found tickets as low as $330, which isn't terrible. Day after Christmas, not a great time to be traveling. A lot of people are going to be with their families. So I don't know what kind of presents we'll have, but Mountaineer Nation traditionally travels well, traditionally makes a lot of noise. I think we can expect a lot of support for our guys come December 26th.
You know what? And the truth is, usually, if you look, I saw something where somebody was putting how many bowl games we've played in the last 10 years where we play them in their state.
Oh, yeah.
I'm so glad we're not playing Memphis in Memphis. I'm even more glad that we're not playing Utah in Utah. Because another reason why I hate Utah? They have the strictest alcohol laws in the entire country. We're actually playing our polar opposite. It's ridiculous. Matter of fact, if you sell beer or any alcohol at a grocery store or at a restaurant, or even from tap, Brandon, on tap, it can only be 3.2% in Utah. Do you know how many beers that eliminates? That eliminates it all. Coors Light, 4.2. Natty Light, 4.2. Miller Lite, 4.2. Bud Heavy, 4.3. But you know what you can get? You can get a Bud Select. You can go there and get your regular Bud Select. That's why I hate Utah. It's ridiculous. The stingiest, the strictest alcohol laws in the country. There was a law to hide the mixing and pouring of alcohol drinks in a restaurant. Now, come on, man. What day and age are we living at?
Listen,
come on now. That's another reason why I hate Utah. And I'm so glad we're not playing Utah in Utah like we typically do for bowl games. I'm glad it's there in Dallas. I'm glad we're going to have a good time.
Mountaineer Nation, rise up. Holla at us.